You'll never take us alive! Let's talk about medieval sandbox games. Chronicles Medieval seems to be the next sandbox medieval RPG game aiming to compete with the likes of the Mount & Blade series. When I first saw this game, I didn't quite understood what the game was about besides the medieval battle settings, which is already something that is definitely in my lane. But the end of their announcement trailer basically depicts something that resembles a lot the style of battles we have at Mount & Blade games. The team seemed to be founded at 2022. They have around 80 co-workers and they are situated at Copenhagen in Denmark. They also have some big names from the industry that have worked on other titles or companies. Also at 2022, there were some interviews about some studio heads about AI, and it seems they were very keen on working with AI to actually create AI tools to greatly develop their games. But it seems now that they have a separate division for AI tools, which is called Raw Power Tools, and the development studio, which is called Raw Power Games. I know there's a lot of controversy around using AI, and the studio claims nowadays that they're only using AI for regular works, which is regularly used nowadays on the gaming industry. Like, you maybe use AI for a concept art, maybe use it to generate something that you're going to edit later using a Photoshop or anything like that, an image editor, or using it on a video, like parts of your video. Definitely AI is already being used in a lot of gaming design pipelines, maybe for some text generation, but it seems that they are claiming they are only using AI for this ground level, tools that I would basically claim that most of gaming development teams are using those nowadays. We basically just have news for this game, which are centered around the Summer Games Fest, which was when this game was announced. So besides getting a couple of information about the studio, we basically have barely any news from this game. But it seems like a really promising game, and I wanted to talk a little more about the company developing it. We seem to have some high notoriety key members that work on high level jobs on other past endeavors in their life. So let's go over them. Some of the team members include past lead designer at Cyberpunk 2077, Andrzej Zawadzki. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, I am placing all of them over here. Daniel Janitek, senior combat designer for Lords of the Fallen 2, and Christian Jespersen, who worked for the Hitman series. The game will be releasing in 2026 on early access, which probably means that besides working in the game for a couple of years, they also intend to keep developing the game while earning funds and maybe developing something close to the community. It's a double-edged sword, to develop a game on early access, and it's not like that team is super small, so I do hope they manage on this model. And while graphically and visually the game is already a thumbs up, we still need to see how it will fare on mechanics, how the gameplay loop will go, how much freedom we have, how much power fantasy, which is how much do we grow on the game, both as maybe a lord or as just a warrior, a band of mercenaries. We don't exactly know if we can own land, if we can claim a kingdom, how the diplomacy on the game works. So we just have a glimpse on what the graphics are intended to be, like what is the target graphics that they want to achieve, animation, obviously the world setting, and also we have a glimpse at the end at what appears to be a Mount & Blade like mountain, a Mount & Blade like gameplay where you command your armies, but you are also personally on the battlefield. You can get killed, you can participate on the battle if you want to kill more people, you can give orders to your troops, and the scale seems a bit bigger than what we have on vanilla Mount & Blade. I am really excited to check this game, it's extremely on my lane, but unfortunately we don't have much to judge the game yet. We can get excited, we can get on the hype, but there's nothing there yet that proves that there is a game there. So we unfortunately have to wait before we start claiming we finally have the Mount & Blade killer over here. Also, curiously, it seems that Raw Power Games is working with some famous HEMA YouTuber, HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts, HEMA for short, and it also seems he's well known within the HEMA community. I'm not very close, but I do have some HEMA YouTubers that I watched, and I obviously play games that are inspired on historical European martial arts. So it's exciting to see that they are taking these extra steps to actually try and make the combat look more realistic and maybe, you know, have more theory and thus make a more cool and interesting game. And it also seems that they plan to have mod support for the game, and obviously given the sandbox RPG nature of the game seems to want to achieve, going for a mod support and community driven stuff, and also listening to community feedbacks, having open betas, it seems that all of that is within their vibe, is within the way they like to work. So I am really excited about this. Honestly, guys, I gotta be real, the first time I saw the trailer for this game, I was completely skeptical. I was like, do we have another The Day Before situation over here? But after researching the team and after seeing their plans, I'm excited. Does this mean I believe this game will be a huge success? No, it is a colossal endeavor that they are tackling, but I do have high hopes, and I really hope in 2026 we can have great news about this game releasing and actually managing to hit our expectations, because honestly, I think expectations are high for this game. The game is promising a lot, and I really hope that they can achieve that. Is this a dream? It's hard to believe such a good game is in development with the right mindset and direction we as fans always wanted for medieval games. No hate for Bannerlord, but if we could get an upgraded version of that experience, just shut up and take my money, dude. We are waiting for decades now for such game to release. Please quench the thirst. I guess with so many scams and false advertisements, we are burned, and to believe such a gem is in development might seem far-fetched, but I'm really excited for this game's release, and even though we might still have to wait until 2026, I'm still hyped for this and I will watch their development closely. Now my guys, I want to talk a little bit about Bannerlord. We will keep on talking about medieval sandbox RPG games, so let's go! Bannerlord had a big naval expansion planned for June 17. This expansion was centered around naval battles and the Nordic civilization we have on the Bannerlord game. The delay now sets that probably the game will release in fall of 2025. I'm expecting it to release maybe between September, October, you know, but we will have to wait and see for an actual date. The studio wrote on an update on their site stating the quality of the expansion currently is not up to par to what we would expect. It's weird that they use this wording. They say the new release date is still going to be shared and they are working to give a proper estimate. Personally, I think that the delay is great. Obviously, releasing the game sooner means more revenue, and companies should always be focusing on releasing the sooner they can, but within a reasonable, polished experience, obviously. And I think they are doing the right choice, you know. They already have an established fan base, they already have a couple of titles out. They have the means to just wait a little bit and try to release a more polished experience. This will go along well with the fans and the players, and I believe this is completely needed if they actually want to longevity, you know, and actually trust from their customers with their company. I read through one of the DLC's Q&As, and it seems the new additions are very interesting. Between new skills related to sailing bound to existing attributes, all the navigation options of the existing map, the addition of proper Nords, and also the rework of the sturgeons to look a bit more like the Vagars and differentiate from the upcoming Nords, I am actually excited to check this new DLC. While I do believe Bannerlord to be a bit of wasted potential, it's also a wonderful game that I love, and I'm glad it's getting a new content and mechanics that I really want to check out how they are going. The trailer shows ships ramming into hulls and full-on naval battles, from people throwing fire on the ships to jumping on board and fighting with swords and slashing each other out. To be fair, I personally do not expect that much, but it seems like a lot of cool new stuff if they manage to add it to the game. Also, it will make good use of all that huge sea area that the game has. Plus, it seems rivers will be traversable and also available for battles. So that's a lot of new uses for places that were just invisible walls before. Now my friends, I gotta ask you, do you love Shogun Total War? Do you love Bannerlord? Well, how about a mix both of them? Well, we got a new crazy overhaul mod for Bannerlord based on feudal Japan called Shokuho. There is a huge overhaul for Bannerlord called Shokuho, which basically just transforms all the Bannerlord style of feudal sandbox into a Japanese daimyo version of that. First time I got to hear the news from regular tweets and news outlets, but I went and watched the amazing trailer the modding team put out, and I was already in love with the mod. In an era where gameplay trailers start being something rare, even for the new DLC announced for Mountain Blade, we have the modding team releasing a nice edit of the mod to convey an actual release trailer with solely gameplay from the mod. Now obviously, I don't expect the modding team to have like a CGI team or something so they can create a special trailer and cutscene specially curated to convey a better depiction of the game, but this is the point. It's so cool that they are going raw and just showing everything we can have at the mod, and I'm super excited to play. The total conversion seems amazing. Well, it looks astonishing with the obvious Bannerlord gameplay we already know. I don't usually prefer Japanese settings over European. I'm kinda mixed. I usually just like historical settings. But this time I feel way more excited to play this total conversion, maybe because I just want to experience Bannerlord in feudal Japan, a perspective I never had before. You know, I have been playing on this European setting for a long time, and maybe having the Japan feudal setting, it's kinda fresh, and really excited to play this game with mechanics I already love. Just like Shogun was an amazing way to experience Total War in a different setting. Now the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is the fact that I don't know how the DLC from War Sales will affect this overhaul mod. I am super excited to play it, but I am also super excited to check out the new DLC from Bannerlord. And I am a little bit worried that the DLC might break this overhaul mod, so maybe we'll have to lock our versions on Steam to prevent this from happening. I really don't know now what we will have to do, but definitely when I discover, I will report to you guys and we will know more about it. And that's it, my guys. I am very excited. This video was purely about sandbox RPG, medieval sandbox RPGs. A lot of news on that. I want you guys to tell me in the comments what are your thoughts. Are you excited to check the new Bannerlord overhaul in the Japan setting? Are you excited for their DLC? Are you bummed out because of the delay? Honestly, I knew the DLC was coming, but I didn't even know the release, so when I heard about the delay, it was basically the first time I heard about the release date. So now my first expectation is to have the DLC by fall. Tell me in the comments if you are excited for Chronicles Medieval. Do you think they will manage to create a better game than Bannerlord? Do you think there is room for both? Tell me in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your opinion about this game. Really excited to share this with you guys. And I will see you on the next gaming news. Bye bye, guys. You never take us alive.